Hello, this is Anton Höpfel from Anapa, and this is the Bund session recap of Tuesday, and it's the 1st of October. Yeah, we can talk the morning session already now. It's not even 10 o'clock, but we already have the market in motion, in imbalance on the short side, and so that means market already reaches the target areas from my hypos. So there is of course no reason yet to get out of the trade. We have reached in the bigger picture the area of the lower distribution, so there is of course taking profits now, but if it can enter this area, remember it has even more potential. But before we get to this, first have a look here at my pre-market and the hypos for today. Hypo 1, I said range short level today is the pre-market volume edge. This was 825, the level 173.98, and this level stayed. That means it was not touched before the open phase. So this was the valid range short market. Remember, if they go back here, this is also like a situation of getting into, if they just responsive sell here, we can get directly into a open drive to the short side. If this breaks this level to the upside, and then we see that it fails at this level of yesterday value area low, we would have more like an open test drive situation. So still, after a failed breakout at this level 98 to the upside and failing, this would then kind of open test drive situation. So I mean, this is in the virgin market, after they open, a very good scenario to get into a short. When we get directly from hypo 3 to hypo 1, from hypo 1 to hypo 3, it's also of course our long level decision making. This is the list because when we get here above this 98 level and see then strong buying power towards the yesterday value area low, so the 07 level, we may reaching then target area 23, 28 if buy power continues, even 36 plus. So that means we got back into the consolidation market of the last days, of this bigger monthly consolidation. That's also possible. Depends on the market and on the situation. We have a lot of minor and mediocre numbers, also big numbers today in the morning. For example, then at 11 o'clock CPI flash of Germany is later than also the American, but a lot of numbers already in the morning, 9:30, 9:45, 9:50, 10 o'clock. So there are a lot of numbers, all these numbers of the morning. And this may cause a little better money flow, better higher volatility, we will see. And short, hypo 2 then, after hypo 1 to hypo 3, because I wanted to show you this is like the list. And hypo 3 then short is increasing sell volume towards lower the pre-market volume edge. Also sell pressure needs to continue then at the 81. This is the overnight low, and also at the yesterday low of the day. This is the 78. So 173, 81, and 173.78. But if you see this behavior and you're in a trade already away from the, let's say, after the cash open intraday POC with pressure away towards, so it needs to be close. It should be in a intraday perspective closer to this area of the lower pre-market volume edge. So this was at this moment the level, let's have a look here. Yeah, around this 86, 87 area, and there was also one created a little bit lower later, but around these areas, we will see that then in the intraday chart. I don't know it now. But towards this level, of course, and then it's not done, of course, so be prepared. If you see that the sell pressure needs to continue at the 81, 173 and the 78, we have a very good opportunity here to stay in this trade for the short targets. Let's say it is a little bit blurred and it's downside a big stretched LVN area, so it goes from this area where we are up down to the 50s around. So, but targets minor HVN is a 64 level, and as long as only minor pullbacks and the sell pressure continues at the level where always initiative came in again and again from the selling, if we make this visualization, we hold on. Because if you have more than one contract, you can hold on to get through this complete LVN. You see this LVN here, starting here from yesterday low, here, this is the monthly profile, this blue one. So you see it can be all traded through before there's coming the next distribution. This would be then looking like this here, coming here. So to this level of 52, the minor 50 numbers. So it's reasonable then to say, yes, I hold on if I have more contracts. All right, so let's see how the market played it out. We open the market. We see first lower volume edge of the morning is a little bit blurred. We have two levels because one time we already tested this with a lot of volume and got absorbed, and market going back to this yesterday lower distribution. But so we have this edge at 86, and also now it's the same level like the overnight low and this 80, 81 to 80, 79 level. So we needed to see that then it continues, like I said, at this area, the sell pressure here when we come into this, and indeed to continue here. This is the yesterday low of the day. But first see what's happening. So my hyper one was the range short entry possibility if you see the responsiveness of sellers coming in when price reaches the 98. Obviously, this happened right with the open. I will stretch it a little bit, you can see it better. So with the open short before, we get here to the open and we get here exactly to the 98. You see this higher volume edge, so the value area high if you want to from the pre-market and also from this yesterday a smaller distribution. And I marked this yesterday smaller and lower distribution as this gray rectangle here. All right. Anyway, we see then market opened, get to the 98, and we see already some signs of responsiveness selling. That means we sold, but some smaller bulls still defended this level, and then boom, at this moment, the positions went out of the book, the shorts, and came also additionally in. Probably, at least we see that we have going away from this area, and you see selling appears away from this at the moment intraday PSC, and also at this responsive selling started here after the open at this very important, for me, best opportunity for the range short if there's no buying power into this level. So this was more like the range short for a possible open drive, or if they try to break it, failed, the open test drive situation here around this area of yesterday value low. What happens was more the open drive, because if you didn't get in and you see the initiative away, then we had the opportunity in here seeing some pullback situation. You see here they pulled back a little bit buying, price couldn't be lifted more than the 87 anymore, playing around, and boom, then initiative. And this was already now at the second low of this little bit blurred distribution from the pre-market, and also our level where I told you this is because I have a red arrow. We want to watch that the sell pressure continues also in the 81 and then in the 77 to say this is the trade we want to stay in. Because we always have to see, it could be also that this going to be then an excess in the big picture. That means this fails and boom, we got switched back into the higher distribution. This is what I meant, why we want to see and watch. If you're then in this trade here, you want to see, boom, sell pressure continues. So if you're not got in here and you have the opportunity of playing around, the POC is almost shifted here to this area, seeing can't go up, is blocked, and then boom, initiative started here in this very moment. And this is also at the moment when we see what we want to see. Sell pressure continues and obvious, and look at this, how major, it's not so much, it's not very often the Bund, having this wonderful open drive and so powerful. See how many contracts here, market sell, delta, how this was pushed into this areas where we wanted to see. So imagine, you got in here at this area, you had your mouse, your finger on the mouse, knew this could be also the excess and getting back to the market, what you not want to see, but you didn't see that in delta. Delta tells you be calm and see and happen, just watch. So, and we get down, second area, sell pressure, need to continue, boom, this candle here, boom, continues. Little bit pulling back, little bit pulling back, reaching almost our target area number 168, not yet reached, because 64 I said this would be my minor PSC, at least where we want to go. It pulls back. At this moment, I mark this area of the LVN. We see where initiative now, of course, came away, is now the LVN intraday. So I wanted to see prices get up there again. And this would mean that this failed for me and I went out. I would go out of this position. But it didn't. They turned back. Only a VWAP pullback initiative, boom, coming away. And here reaching now target number 164. Then you see price even tried to get through this whole LVN. A little bit more blurred now to the downside. That means it didn't run so clear compared to the before short drive. But anyway, it was going lower and lower and lower. And everywhere, every time they reached target, the pullback was only minor, even though we saw some situation that this moment when you see they trying to pull back got absorbed still means bears. Absorption and initiative again. And then finally they reach the area of this, when you look at the bigger volume profile, the monthly, the composite of the month, you can see it also here. Then we finally reaching where this distribution, the lower distribution started, so around this 50 areas. And actually we did reach this, and that means now you can think of, well, I've reached my targets, I can take my profits now. And you also see that delta is now more and more getting to the bullish side. That means, of course, there was some profit one could make today driven by OTF, and of course now people more and more going into taking profits. This is not the moment now looking for long to get back somewhere, but let's say, I don't know, a 94 area. I would not go here for the reversal, because we're clear now in a short trend, intraday at least, and you see this is just taking profits. Anyway, that would be the signs here, as other people do, to secure your profits from an intraday trade. That means hypo 1 and then led to hypo 2 was played. And of course you have to develop your plays, because it won't help you only have done the big picture. This is the most important thing, but you also need something at the micro level to play it, where you can handle and where you know you get some failed trades. Then let's say lucrative trade, but they fail because the initiative away is blocked. So you have to understand what the way you play it. What is your entry? What would it look like? Where would be your stop? This is then what you have to develop for in your market. Of course, the principles is the same in every market. Auction, market theory. The behavior of the market depends on itself. That means liquidity, illiquid or liquid market, volatility. Then what is the range of market? It's made what it's possible for a market. The Bund will not make 2-3 points on a day normally. Sometimes you get 50-40 ticks, sometimes you get, like today, even more. So no, we didn't get that right now, but there are days you get maybe a point, so 100 ticks. You have to find this out by yourself. The principles, the wonderful thing is, if you understand this, you have a good big picture preparation, let's assume, and at the other side you also know what is possible and know what is your target. Then you can take this reward from the big picture and make a beautiful thing, and this is trying to work with taking the risk, and it's smaller, from the small picture. And then mathematics will work for you. Thanks for watching. This is Anton Höpfel for Manapa Trading. Bye.